Alright, Frostbite plus Evolution, Ash plus Evolution, both are stun bots that are easily replaceable. Have some unique uses and elemental challenges, but really not that significant, especially with Can Yellow existing now. Buffy is pretty much just going to be a early game damage carry, and I mean really early game damage carry because you're guaranteed to get Slime King and GR normal. At that point, just use Slime King if you really want a damage carry, but there are so many better damage carries than the both of them as well. So Puffy removed here. Lightning, another stun bot, easily replaceable. Same with these two Archangels here. And then now leaving these legendaries here, all those stun bots that I removed before. Slime King plus a CDR charm plus a speed buff can probably do the job just as well with frequent stun times as well as the whole map being stunned. You can even go slap a stun time charm on Slime King as well, also pretty strong. So, Slime King can pretty much handle the entire stunning job in many situations, including in the end game, late game as well. So, good unit, right? Death Bite, very good for cutting down HP, can be used as main DPS in some levels now, especially with access to Anubis and Can Yellow. Get those damage multipliers, make sure that 50% damage multiplier can go beyond, sorry, not the 50% damage multiplier, 50% health damage can go beyond 100% health damage. Felina is a pretty good DPS unit, not as great as she used to be, but honestly, right now, she's not really that important because if you do want to run some sort of Can Yellow setup in your elemental, it's probably just better to use Deathbite and Kevin. Not Deathbite and Kevin, Deathbite and Devin. Otherwise, Felina's damage is not really needed anywhere. It's either outclassed, you can either use easier to access units, or yeah, it's not great. It's a damage unit outclassed by other damage units. Nightmare levels, you can find cheaper stuff to get complete with. Elementals, you can either run your Amaterasu Mythic Toolbox or your Devin Deathbite thing, or a mix of both. You don't really need Felina anymore. Looking at the legendaries we have remaining, let's say we have, well, it's just Moloch and Kevin, right? Okay, I didn't even need to put Moloch on because Moloch is useless. Damage that is outclassed by other damage. Sort of the same deal as Felina, but to a much greater degree. Felina can probably still be used, but just the stuff that outclasses her. Why would you use her when you can gravitate to either of the other two setups I talked about before, or just use a cheaper Nightmare carry with a good charm? Alright, now that leaves us with Kevin. So Kevin is another good DPS unit for the classic levels, I would say. Not as important in the elementals anymore. You can just Can Yellow plus Devin Deathbite, and if you have a decent setup with those, especially with Anubis, you can honestly just complete those levels. Although Anubis is pretty reliant on that. I guess you do need some mythics to make it work, although you don't really need to have as many in the Cosmic Tower to make it work. But yeah, Kevin still has that versatile elemental challenge damage. Not as important to go for stuff like Mr. Flaming Clears anymore. But Kevin can also be ran as a carry in your classic levels, although him and Slime King pretty much do the same job now. Although I do have to say, even though King and Yellow invalidates elements, not everyone can access King and Yellow, right? In that case, Kevin is a pretty good budget DPS dealer. Yeah, not a bad unit, I would say. It is a DPS dealer that is outclassed by other DPS dealers, but unlike Felina, Kevin is a cheap unit, so a lot easier to upgrade and access at a maximum potential, I guess you could say. So that's pretty much the only three really important legendaries I would consider important. I mean, everyone else, even if you could play the entire game without them, it'd be a little bit more difficult, but not that much. So these are the three best legendaries, in my opinion. Maybe Kevin and Felina are fighting for third, but Slime King and Deathbite take easy first and second, or second and first. I don't feel like thinking about that right now. That's going to be it for this video. Like, subscribe, see ya.